So guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the Roccat Torch. Now I happened to go to Ross, just walked inside like I normally do, found it for $29. Understand that this is actually a $100 microphone, $79.99 online if you go to Amazon, which I will put a link in the description for you guys that are interested in at least going to Amazon to figure out more about it, to do your own little test and, comparison to things like that. But this is a pretty cool microphone. Now, let me just show you what it comes with, because I don't have the cords on me. I actually gave them away, believe it or not, because it came with more cords than what I personally needed. So right here, if you look at the instructions, it has USB-C to USB-C, USB-A to USB-C, and then a USB-C to USB-C again. And the reason for this is because one of these cords, the USB-C to USB-C, actually connects to microphone to the actual controls. And if this has the option to be disconnected and used as one of those arm microphones, so you would need the longer cord for that. So just please be aware of that. In addition, it comes with, well, technically it has 3 pickable patterns. We'll talk about that in a moment. RGB lighting, audio output, studio quality. It has everything. It has everything that you need. It's basically the starter pack of microphones, in my opinion. Now, I'm not going to say that this is necessarily better than a Blue Yeti. I'm not going to say that this is better than a Hypercast S. 2 microphones that I currently use and I just flip-flop and switch between. But we're going to test those things, and I'm going to let you know at the end of the day, is this actually worth the asking price? With that being said, timestamps will be in the description for you guys that want to skip to whatever part that you want. Let's get right into this review. So this is going to be a fairly long video for you guys. Whoever that doesn't like long form content, just go to the tab and skip to the part that you want to see. But I know there's some people that are curious about this, especially if you saw it for the price tag that I discussed, which is a whopping $29.99. Even though when I look online, I see it for substantially more. So there's a couple things we need to talk about. I have the instructions here so I can walk you guys directly through it. So let's get into this. So first things first, the microphone is currently off. Now, depending on which setting you have it on right here, the lights actually change to signify which settings you have it on. So you see that right there, blue, green, and purple. And we're gonna go over all 3. Also, if you put the gain up and down, it lets you know how high the gain is and how low the gain is. And this volume control right here actually doubles down if you press it in as a mute button, press it back in. And you also have the option up top to tap this. Mute comes on, mute comes off. So let me tap that again. There we go. It comes back on. And also in the back, you have the headphone jack. You have the USB-C to USB-C, which connects directly to the microphone and to the headset itself. The headset, the microphone, and then the actual device itself. And they do have another cord, like we discussed earlier in the video, where if you use this as an arm, like a boom mic, an arm stand, then it's like a 10-foot cord roughly. I forget how many feet it is, so that you can have it where, you have that little arm thing attached to your desk. Right here is the pressure sensitivity of the mute button. That's all that is. And I have it at the highest so that when I just tap it or hover my finger over it by tapping it, we're good to go. Then you also have the, what is this called? The brightness. Say 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess it's 4 settings for brightness. So, and I normally keep mine on the highest setting all the time because I like looking at the colors. Now, more importantly, this is the part that you're here for. Whoop, shaky cam. Keep that right there. So right here, the purple is the stereo sound. Basically ideal for capturing live instruments, vocals, AMSR. Now, I don't use the purple setting really. I did do tests on it, and for me, I don't do instruments. I have FL Studio. I have separate microphones for that. If I want to do voice recordings, I wouldn't use this one particularly for that. But technically, this is a microphone for gaming amongst other things. But again, I have headsets, I have other microphones. I do this for review purposes. Though what I will say is, even though this isn't the best microphone I have, it is the primary one that I use for just everyday use. So the second setting, which turns green, is cardioid. I believe that's how you say it. And what this one does is perfect for solo situation. This is what I normally use for recordings, whether it's streaming, gaming, podcasting, or web calls. So what happens with the second setting, which you'll see in real time in a moment, is that it does a good, even if the microphone is directly in front of you, my microphone is normally in front of my speaker right here and my keyboard's over here. What it does is it picks up your voice, but it doesn't pick it up, how do I describe it? you don't hear a lot of breakage in your voice. You know how some microphones, if it's too close to your mouth, you hear breakage, or if you laugh or yell or something, it's almost unbearable. It actually manages that very, very well, in my opinion. In addition to that, I've done a couple videos on my secondary channel, and my wife was in the background. You can hear her speak just fine. It does a pretty good job of picking up background noise around you. When I say background, I'm not referring to air conditioners and things like that. I'm referring to voice. Very good if you want to just have multiple people in a room with you. My wife has a computer over here to the right. I'm about to point to the right over here. There you go, to the right. And she'll play The Sims or listen to me record things and then laugh or add commentary. So I like that setting. Now the third one, which turns blue right here, is actually whisper. Great for when you have to be at your quietest but still need to be heard. Ideal for nighttime use when gaming, chatting. Remember, this microphone is being sold as a gaming microphone. So let me give you an example of what this is. The way I'm speaking right now would be too loud for this setting. Dead serious. I am not joking when I say that. I can talk like this softly or a little bit lower, just talking like I'm whispering, and it would still come out like it's the second setting. That's how good that setting is. So those are the three main settings that you're going to hear when you're playing games and whatnot, or just recording. Now, what I will also say is it does have an option down here that says live. The moment you press this in, the microphone right here lets you know that the microphone is not receiving, it's not picking up any noise whatsoever. I know some people think they mute their microphone and they really don't, and they're having a bad conversation and talking bad about someone, saying they suck. And it's like, listen, you can end friendships that way. But all jokes aside, as soon as you press this again or tap the top like we discussed before, the microphone comes back on, it's live, and you're good to go. So like I said before, I like it. This is a pretty decent microphone, but without further ado, let's go over to the section that you're waiting for, and that's, well, basically hearing the quality of each setting. So the first setting right here is going to be the stereo setting. Now, I want you to be able to hear everything that I'm saying. This one is for live instruments, vocals, ASMR. So for you good podcasters out there that's thinking, oh, it doesn't sound as good as my microphone, or this isn't good enough for me, understand that we have two more settings that's more catered to you gamers and you podcasters, and we're about to talk about that right now. So without further ado, let's move on. So this setting right here, and excuse my pronunciation, cardioid, this is the one that I normally use. I have this set up about a foot away from my face. Understand, I'm on a keyboard setup, a computer setup. So the keyboard's in front of me, the microphone's in front of that, the subwoofer is behind that, then I have like knickknacks and things on the desk. So this is the one that I normally use in my videos. This is how soft-spoken I am normally. And if you like the volume, it is a huge difference from the actual stereo volume. So please do be aware of that. What I suggest for anyone that buys these microphones is to test each setting before you go into a live stream or you decide to post something, because you want to make sure that the quality is up to par. Also, let me also say to you that I am using Twitch Studio, so it does have the option to make some tweaks here and there, but I haven't done anything. This microphone has been plugged up. I didn't download any software. I didn't try to do anything differently. I'm using it as is, and this is my favorite setting right here. So let's go on to the third and last setting. So this setting right here is called whisper. Let me explain. It sounds much louder than the second one, right? And for some people, you may say this sounds too loud. So if you're laughing, it's going to have breakages from time to time. That does happen because you're supposed to be soft-spoken. So let me explain. I'll give you an example. Right now, I am talking much lower. And if you've noticed, the sound probably sounds pretty good because there's 4 people out there when they play the game. Sometimes your parents are asleep and you want a microphone that can still pick up your voice clearly so everyone else can hear you on the game, especially if you have a headset. Remember, this has the option to plug in a headphone jack to the back of it. Now, the reason I'm speaking this way is it's funny because this microphone is, when you look at the setting of the microphone, it actually says it's for gaming if you got to be quiet. So it's insinuating that, hey, by me, I will allow you to play games and chat with your friends without disturbing everybody. But no, all jokes aside, this one is the loudest setting right here, just being honest with you. And for some people, it's going to be a fan favorite depending on how far away the microphone actually is. But personally, I like the second setting the best. That's just me. But to each their own, set it up the way that you want to. So with that being said, this is everything that the microphone has to offer. So in conclusion, I like this microphone a lot. Now, what I will say is that I have done quite a few videos on my secondary channel, Nothing Untouched, that is not for kids, just so you know. So if you're an adult watching this, don't send your child to that channel. Anywho, the point is, how do I say this? The price tag is $100. Now, keep in mind, I've bought the Snowball. I bought so many different types of headphones, the Hypercast S, the other Razer microphones. I have JLab microphones. I have a lot of different microphones, right? And it's not because I'm looking to upgrade. I just like reviewing things, and I have not sticky fingers, that's stealing, but I like buying things. If I had to compare this particular microphone to the Hypercast S, I don't think it's better. If I had to compare this to the Blue Yeti, I also don't think it's better, but it really depends on what it is that you're using it for. I personally like the fact that it does a very good job of picking up my voice no matter where I'm sitting. I can walk away from my desk, come back, switch a setting real fast, in and out, and I have no problems. Because everything is directly in the front, it makes it easier to be able to change the knobs, do volume, gain, things like that. It just makes my life easier. With the Blue Yeti, you gotta kind of go to the back of the microphone, and I think the Blue Yeti had it on the back. I know that the Hypercast S, if I'm correct, has it also where you can change the settings in the back. Give me one moment, I'll show you. So here we go. So in the Hypercast S, let me just push this to the side. This is the microphone I was previously using, but I had an issue where for some reason it kept cutting out, so I'm gonna troubleshoot it. But on this one, on the back of it, you have the knobs. I don't have time to switch knobs in the back of it if I want to change the quality of my sound. The headphone jack is in the back, the mute button is up top, and the volume you twist right here. Very good microphone. I suggest this one for you guys out there that want to have a bigger room because it picks up a lot of noise. But again, these are all expensive microphones. So if you find this at Ross like I did for $29, I'm going to be honest with you, there is absolutely no reason not to purchase it. Even if you don't need it, give it to somebody else as a Christmas gift. Give it to someone that got an Xbox or a different system or another PC that is considering podcasting, or just have it in the closet in case your primary microphone breaks. Now, I'm using this as a primary for obvious reasons because I'm a firm believer that I can't say something is decent and then not use it. No, I use it in my actual videos. So if you, like I said, that secondary channel, which will not be named again, I've been using it recently. Some people will like the quality, some won't. But I don't expect studio perfect quality. This isn't the Joe Budden podcast out here. I already understand that I'm using average equipment. With that being said, absolutely for $30, I like it. If you're going to $79 to $100, then that puts you in a different price range where you could buy a Blue Yeti, which I would suggest that over this. I would suggest a Hypercast S over this, the two microphones that I use. There are others. I can't really name those because I didn't actually review all of those other microphones, but this does come in a very close third. But anyway, like and subscribe like always, and I will see you guys in the next video.